Yo, what's going on, guys? Trey back again here, bringing another video. This one is going to be doing a video. I guess you could call it thoughts on a fight, okay, or a dream fight matchup, and who I think would have won had this have gone down. This one is been suggested by the UFC Network user who watches a lot of my videos. Appreciate you watching, dude. So this is a video for you. This video I was already thinking about doing, and I actually have a list of all the MMA videos to do, and this one was definitely right up there, getting around to it. So I felt like I was in the mood now tonight to do it, and want to give my thoughts on how this matchup would have gone down. So years ago, during the Pride fighting championship decade, no one was more dominant than Fedor. No one in mixed martial arts history has been as dominant as Fedor. The question was always sort of, once Pride pretty much finished off and Fedor not going to the UFC, how would Fedor have fared against some of the UFC's top heavyweights? Mainly a couple guys. Pretty much guys of interest would have been Brock Lesnar, possibly. Some of the other guys that we got to see him face, we got to see him fight Tim Sylvia, we got to see him fight Andrei Arlovsky. A couple of the other guys, pretty much you're looking at maybe, I don't know. Who else is there really at the top of the Gabriel Gonzaga, but he's fallen off. So around that time, pretty much when it comes down to it, there's really two guys that Fedor really didn't get to fight that fans wanted to see happen. It would have been big, big matchups. Like I said, one Brock Lesnar and two Randy Couture. So the thing with Brock Lesnar is it was only after he beat Randy that people wanted to see him fight, Fedor. Before that, it was all Randy Fedor. And Randy Couture also wanted the fight. He really did. He was willing to leave the UFC, burn his bridges with them, to go to another company to put on the fight with Fedor. He really wanted to do it. I know that Fedor probably did too. I don't know about M1 Global and his handlers and all that, because who knows what's going on with those guys. I mean, but, this would have been the biggest. If this had gone down, this would have been the biggest matchup in UFC history. There's no question about it. I mean, you got two of the biggest fighters of all time, the biggest being Fedor, and, one of the biggest being Randy, probably the biggest that would have been competitive with him that he didn't actually get to fight. So let's look at how this would break down. So, of course, let's start with Fedor Emelianenko. So all those years in Pride, 30-something fights, almost 10 years straight, undefeated, okay? Undefeated. So now, to be more specific, when we're looking at this matchup, we're looking at about the year of 2008, 2009. Yes. 2008, 2009 was when they were both, okay, actually, I'm going to rephrase that because Randy lost to Brock in 2008. So yeah, so beginning of 2008, before Randy lost to Brock when he was the UFC heavyweight champion, if he had faced Fedor at that time, who would have won? Both in their close to their prime. Close to their prime. Fedor probably, just in his prime in 2008, roughly, and Randy just, starting to get out of it, but very close to his prime. So yeah, so Fedor undefeated for all those years in Pride, just smashing everybody, taking names, beating everybody, taking guys that people thought would be good matchups like Crow Cop and throwing him between the ropes and using his sambo and his freaking wild man boxing and just knocking the shit out of guys left, right, and center, making Heath Herring consider retirement, and all these other guys, Big Nog, treating Big Nog like nobody else had done, just crazy, crazy stuff, man. So yeah, beats Tim Sylvia, beats Andrei Arlovsky. How would it have gone down between him and Randy? So obviously, Fedor's Sambo is world class. He's one of the best Sambo artists in the world. And Sambo is one of the best mixed or martial arts for mixed martial arts. It's probably, if not the best, second best, or maybe it is the best, because Sambo incorporates, boxing, takedowns, throws, submissions on the ground. It incorporates a lot of stuff. So it's really good for that it has striking and all. You don't have any other martial arts that have that. Jiu-jitsu's probably the best for mixed martial arts, but it doesn't have the striking. Sambo does. So, Sambo might be the best mixed martial art or martial art in the world for mixed martial arts. That or jiu-jitsu, one of the two. I guess it doesn't really matter when you look at it. But Sambo is definitely, you know, even nowadays, Fedor says he still just trains Sambo. That's all he really trains. He doesn't really train mixed martial arts. He trains Sambo, even still. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind, too. Um, Now, Randy, of course, we know his skill set. Being such a good Greco-Roman wrestler with his dirty boxing and his craftiness and his, you know, his determination, his willpower, and his great training in preparation to fight these guys and great game planning. You know, with his skill sets and finding ways to beat guys that he should probably get killed by, like giving Brock Lesnar a great fight. You know, really doing well against Brock. I mean, Randy's beaten tons of guys. He's beaten Chuck Liddell. He's beaten Tim Sylvia, Gabriel Gonzaga. Everybody thought he would lose to Tim Sylvia. Vitor Belfort, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. I mean, yeah, I mean, Pedro Hizo. He's beaten a lot of guys. 5-time UFC champion, either at light heavyweight or heavyweight. Tournament champion. You know, just he's done very well for himself. Now, these two guys and how they match up. But when I break it down and I look at their skill sets, I have to say that, you know, they really haven't fought. Okay, Randy's never fought somebody like Fedor. Not even close. I mean, there really is nobody like Fedor out there at all. No one fights the same way that he fights. No one has a style comparable to his that Randy's fought or even that I can think of in all of mixed martial arts, really. He's got a very unique style that most guys, you know, don't even resemble in any way, shape, or form. But Fedor has fought a lot of guys like Randy. He's fought, you know, a lot of wrestlers like Kevin Randleman, Mark Coleman, plenty of others, you know, Matt Lindland, and the list goes on and on and on and on. He's fought a lot of good strikers, big guys, and he's beaten them all, you know, up until the last couple of years. So as of 2000, early 2008, Fedor was pretty much unstoppable at this point. And if he would have faced Randy, I have to go with Fedor. Absolutely have to go with Fedor in this fight. The percentages, I'd say this is like a 70-30. The fact that, you know, Randy was losing fights all throughout his career. I mean, when you look at Randy's record, his record is 19-11 at retirement. So he had 11 losses on his record, and they weren't all at the end of his career. He lost throughout his career. He lost to Rico Rodriguez. He lost to Valentin Overeem, Alistair's older brother. He lost to Josh Barnett. He lost to a lot of guys. Chuck Liddell, Big Nog. Okay, now that I'm going to come back to Big Nog, but you know he has lost quite a bit. He's not undefeated. He's not like, you know, he's undefeated like Fedor was at the time. I mean, Fedor just, it was crazy. He just didn't lose. You know what I mean? No matter who he fought. I mean, Kevin Randleman was a huge guy. Mark Coleman were huge guys. Wrestlers would take him down, and you know, he would just pull off these ridiculous submissions from the bottom. So, however it's going to go, if Randy's going to stand up with Fedor in 2008, not now, because that's totally different now, and you know, Fedor's not the same fighter he was then. You know, like people might bring up the Dan Henderson fight. No, okay. Fedor now versus Fedor in 2000, early 2008 is so far, you know, different from, you know, he's not even close to the same fighter. Not even close, man. He doesn't have the same physique. He doesn't have the same body weight, muscle mass. He doesn't fight the same. You know, don't even look at his latest fights. Look at his earlier fights around the year of 2008, so you get to see. So, if Randy stands up with Fedor, okay, Randy's been knocked out by Chuck Liddell. Randy's been knocked out by other guys. You know, like his stand-up is good, and he's able to outstrike Tim Sylvia pretty well. But you know, a guy like Brock Lesnar hit Randy over the head just later on that year in 2008 and knocked him down and then was able to finish him. Is Brock Lesnar striking better than Fedor's striking? No. Okay. Is Brock Lesnar's takedown defense better than Fedor's? Yeah. Yeah, you can say that Brock Lesnar's a better wrestler, his takedown defense is better. But Fedor's got good takedown defense too. Even if Randy, and the thing about Fedor is he never quits. Even if Randy takes him down a couple times in this fight, like Randleman did, Coleman did, he's got to worry about getting submitted. He's got to worry about those ridiculously fast arm bars, those masterful arm bars that that Fedor puts on, like he put on Kevin Randleman, just a thing of beauty. Traps the leg, throws the arms up, comes over, grabs the arm, boom. Next thing you know, the guy's tapping. A second later, I mean, it's just masterful. So Randy's got to worry about that. The other thing, too, is Randy is not sort of like a power fighter. He doesn't finish fights by knocking guys out very often. A lot of times he'll win decisions. Other times, like Vitor Belfort, he'll pound them into the ground, you know, and just pound the shit out of them the whole fight. But, that's not going to stop Fedor. And I don't think he's going to be able to do the type of thing that Bigfoot Silva did against Fedor, because Bigfoot Silva's got better jiu-jitsu than Randy. Bigfoot Silva's got, he's a huge man, and he's got way more power than Randy. If Bigfoot Silva, hits anybody like that, I don't care if it's Hongman Choi or whoever, your face is going to look like hamburger meat after. It's all there is to it. I mean, it's just a monster. So, when it comes down to it, and I break down this fight between Randy Couture and Fedor, to me, there's really no question. I mean, some other people they may be wondering about this, but to me, you know, they call him the last emperor for a reason. When he started losing to Verdum, Bigfoot Silva, Dan Henderson, that's because we knew, guys, it was over. You know what I mean? The time was over. The dominance was done. Brett Rogers was the start of it, but we knew that something had changed. He wasn't the same guy he was before. You got to see it against Tim Sylvia. He beat Tim Sylvia so fast. Maybe he started underestimating guys after, and he started believing his own hype. Andrei Arlovsky, a midair knockout of Andrei Arlovsky, absolutely unbelievable. Out in midair before he hits the ground, and then just collapses to the ground. I gotta say, if Randy Couture was to fight Fedor Emelianenko in 2008, even now, I don't care. I gotta go with Fedor. 70-30 split in terms of odds. No question about it. Does Randy have a chance? Well, I guess Randy could hold him up against the fence and win a decision. But other than that, I got to say Fedor's going to finish this fight. He's going to beat Randy one way or another. He's either going to, knock him out, because Randy's not the fastest guy in the world. He never was. We got to see that against Machida and against a lot of other guys. Even when he's trying, like against Brock when he got clubbed with that right hand, Fedor, Fedor's going to hit you. I mean, he hits a lot harder than Brock, okay, and faster too. And, he's light on his feet. He's really hard to take down. He's not somebody that you can just push up against the cage and hold there for a long time. Especially at that time when he was in shape and he was, his sambo was good, man. Holy shit. So I think he would have beaten the shit out of Randy. Another point that I want to make here is that when you can look at Big Nog, now this is MMA math. I recognize that. So don't, hate me for that. But it has to be said, okay? When Big Nog fought Fedor 3 times, okay? Every single one of those fights, Fedor beat Big Nog into the ground every single time, okay? The closest one was the last one. He still won. So he beat Big Nog twice and won no contest. But he beat the crap out of Big Nog. Made Big Nog look like he was nothing. You know what I mean? Like he was a level below him. Then when Big Nog fought Randy, Big Nog beat Randy and beat him pretty bad too. I mean, he was beating Randy in the striking. When it came to the ground, he was throwing some counters on Randy. He swept him a couple times. I mean, Big Nog beat Randy pretty bad. It was a decision, and he did get the decision, but he beat him really, really bad. I gotta say that if Fedor was to fight Randy in his prime, Fedor Emelianenko, man, he's called the greatest of all time for a reason. You know what I mean? Like we all don't remember Fedor because he's, just some fighter. He's the best ever. And Randy, as great as he was, when you look at their records, I mean, Fedor was basically undefeated for all those years. Randy lost here and there. Okay, all there is to it. Okay, definitely Fedor would take this fight, hands down, no question about it. If you guys disagree with me, feel free to do a video response. Don't comment about it, because like guys with comments and stuff, it's like, get out of here. Anyway, guys, over this later.